So let's talk about, while we're on this topic of publishers, another area that I think you've got very unique insight on is this concept of the kind of athlete athlete influencer, right? So obviously you've been working with athletes for a very long time before they were publishers themselves. And now they're in a position where they as well are some of the biggest publishers in the world. How has that increased the importance of those investments for you, both across both brands that you've seen? And maybe how's that changed the landscape in terms of, does that influence who you decide to work with as well? To say, okay, they're a fantastic athlete, but they also have an audience of 5.5 million people. Yeah, I'd love to hear about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think the world of influencer has been evolving so fast and so dynamic. I would look at it in a few different parts. First, on the athletes, right? I think the for the North Face or for Nike, but speaking about the North Face, I've always played a massive role in a few elements. First, they're the best at their craft, and therefore they their expectation around product is at the highest level. If it works for them, or if we provide solutions for them, it's going to influence the rest of the community. I'll give you an example. When the North Face launched this Future Light technology, which is a nano spinning technology that provides full waterproofness, but very, very high breathability. Because traditional membranes, like that you see in the marketplace, create a trade-off. It's either very waterproof or it's breathable. It's not both. And our are basically saying, after an incredible climb, you know what? It would have been great if I had a jacket that could skin, that could breathe as hard as I do. Because as a climber, when you're hot, you take it off, then you put it back on and off and on, and you have to put your backpack and check your safety. So it's very inefficient, and that innovation, which has changed completely how we even design product. For everyday consumers, because now you have product you don't need to layer as much. Your breathability means you're not going to sweat inside. So working has always been really important. Now, what we see is athletes, as you said, influencer on their own and have their own brands and channels to manage. So it's been really fun and exciting to actually provide support and guidance to our athletes to help continue to develop their brand. And during the pandemic, when everybody was stuck inside, we actually relied heavily on our athletes to create their own content. Because again, our consumer were asking us, how do you deal with confinement? If you're a climber and you're on an expedition, you're going to be confined in a very tiny, spot, in your tent on a cliff for weeks at a time. How do you deal with? So it led to, incredible content that we've created. How do you stay fit, when you cannot get outside? These were insights that that were asked to our athletes, and we created an amazing amount of content, to reach our community while we were all stuck inside. So but the world of influencers have changed because you have now, through specific social platform, self-proclaimed influencers that are expert in their field, whether it's climbing, mountaineering, like setting up tents, shoe reviews, and it's been really interesting to actually identify one that we want to authentically create a connection with, to work with them, because they are influential in their own right. They have a massive amount of followers because they spend a lot of time thinking about the content based on the activities that they feel they have an expertise in. So that world is very dynamic and is changing all the time. We will continue to invest in athletes and invest in also supporting their storytelling. We have millions of views around what we call how-to videos, tutorial videos. During the pandemic, how to climb. I show up in the gym, I don't know what to do. Well, now the gyms are closed. How to camp. I want to go camping, but I've actually never done it. What do I pack? Like pack when you go camping. Like I want to go hiking, but like for how long? What do I wear? And these are experiences that we leverage our athletes in their garage. We filmed in their garage, wear their own phones. Incredible content that had millions of views and creating more following. So it's a very dynamic environment, and one that I think is going to continue to be pivotal for any marketeers that want to connect authentically with their community, because you trust a friend's recommendation way more than you will trust a brand. when it comes to, like product recommendation. And that's why we have to continue to earn these authentic connection with the right influencers.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen authenticity, long-term relationship building, all these things be at the center of success, whether it's with an extreme athlete, someone with a large YouTube following, or somebody who's just getting started but has a community that really trusts them. And so it's great to hear that that's something that you found to be successful as well. Do you kind of separate internally, the athlete team versus the kind of social influencer team, or are they blended?
I would say the words are
Yeah.
colliding more and more, but there's still some very specific. In the world we're in, our sports marketing team have to seek to sign and to serve athletes in a way that is very specific to their needs. Again, when we have athletes right now planning or some expedition on Everest, the planning and the requirement around the gear and the support is very different from what everyday activities in the outdoors will be. But when it comes to engaging in their platform and content creation, that's where the lies. And this is where our digital content team gets very involved in working not only with our elite athletes, but with a lot of influencers to provide content and often creating bridges for them to connect with each other as well. Because the beauty about athletes is they're people first, and they go through the same hardship and setback. As I was telling you, like working with some of the best athletes in the world, they go through the same setback, highs and lows that we all go through. And so, in particularly outdoor athletes are extremely relatable and personable. And so, creating these bridges have proven to be really, really powerful.